Well, keep listening for a biblical understanding of the psychology of the mind. Hey guys, welcome, welcome, welcome to another wonderful session of Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. And I am your host, Annette Harris. I want to thank you in advance for watching and or listening. I'm so excited today. We got another session coming up. I have been a busy bee this week, but that's okay. I want to first, of course, acknowledge the Lord in prayer. Lord, we thank you for this wonderful day. We thank you for who you are. We thank you for just working in us your will. And we ask that you continue to get the glory out of our lives. In Jesus' name we pray. And the opening scripture is the first part of Hosea 4:6. And it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. And again, I'm excited to be here on this afternoon. It is another wonderful time to come before you. If you see my face on at 12 noon on Wednesday, that means it's time for Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. Now, I want to encourage you. I am on my Facebook Live feed here on my page, Annette, known as Annette. And then also I have the audio portion of this live session on my YouTube channel going right now. Shout out to Earl Winfrey. Intellectual Radio is where Mind, Body, and Soul is housed. And so you can hear us there at the end of the show. We will upload the video portion to my YouTube channel, excuse me. So if you go to YouTube and type in Get Caught in Annette, A-N-E-T, make sure you click that subscribe button, click the bell so you'll know when I go live, and you will be right there to listen in on today. So I'm so excited because it is the end of the month, and I honestly cannot believe that we are at the end of another month. This is September, and it seems like it just came and went just like that. Yeah. So with that in mind, you know that on the fourth Wednesday, we normally talk to Dr. Shirley Hill, and she is here from Mo Faith Nutritional Services on this afternoon. How are you doing?
I am doing great. I'm doing wonderful. I woke up this morning. I was feeling fabulous. Thanks to the goodness of the Lord. So I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm doing well. She and I were just kind of laughing a little bit before we came on, and I like to, settle ourselves, kind of laugh a little bit about some stuff. I'm not going to tell you what we laughed about, but we're here. We're here.
I will embarrass me. That's why she won't tell
you. That's because I love her. But no, it's good to laugh. Laughter is good for the soul. I'm telling you, it will help you get through various situations, if you will. So I'm going to encourage you guys to make sure you click that share button. You look down at the bottom of your screen, you should see the share. Just go ahead and click it, and you should be able to share this with others. You'll alert others, should I say, that we are on live. And I don't want anybody to miss anything, because it's always a good time to come on the fourth Wednesday to listen to Dr. Hill and everything that she has to share with us, what God has given her. And again, we don't want to take anything for granted, all that we hear. Got to take it in, guys. But yeah, make sure you click the share button. Of course, the thumbs up, the hearts, the care button, if you will. It is always a good time to listen to Dr. Hill. Now, Dr. Hill, I'm getting some feedback saying they can barely hear you. So maybe if you can turn up your volume a little for me, that would be wonderful, because we don't want them to miss anything. And while you're doing that, I want to just recognize some individuals that are here. Karen is on. Brandy is on. Thank you for watching. Cal, take me away, Karen says. Good afternoon, beautiful ladies. And Marcus is on. We appreciate you. Brandy says we can hardly hear Dr. Hill. Okay, so she said that as well. All right, Dr. Hill, why don't you do a little test?
Testing 1 2 3. Testing 1 2 3.
Is that better, guys? Tell us if that's better. Maybe you want to move into your microphone. You know, I always say when we get in the station, make that microphone your friend.
Yeah, you do. testing 1, 2, 3, testing 1, 2, 3.
Okay, I'm waiting for their response. So you guys let me know if that's better. Maybe are you able to move that mic a little bit towards you?
Yes. Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3.
All right. I think it may be a little bit better. We just make sure you use outside voice.
Okay.
And then if there's a volume button, just make sure to turn it up too.
There is a volume button. I did turn it up. I moved the mic closer. I'm talking a little louder. Did that do any good?
Okay, I'll wait. I'll wait to get their responses, but we'll see if because I go ahead.
I have you very loud. You're very loud.
That's because I have a big mouth. But someone said that you may have been too far from the mic, but I think you're closer to the mic now. But yeah, if you could just make sure that you are all the way up in terms of your volume, and so we'll make sure that we don't want them to miss anything, Dr. Hill.
Yes, ma'am. I don't want them to miss anything either.
That's good. I hear you.
Is it? Oh, okay, great.
Yes. Okay. So somebody give me feedback and let me know. I can hear her real good. So Trenda, I see you on Indiatrix. Thank you for watching, sweetie. Dr. Regina Brooks, I don't think I called your name. Thank you for watching. We appreciate it. Okay, so Dr. Hill, we're going to get started today. This very interesting topic title that you have for us. It was so funny because, I normally have a spoken word pinned by Elder McGee, and this was probably the first time that I've ever known him to be stumped by your topic title. He was stumped. He was like, huh? What is she saying? And I said, yeah, I get it. Because when you first sent it to me, I said, oh, okay. So let me read this topic title. It says, why you can't get well. The answer is found in the wisdom of the dog and the rat. Yeah, I said that right. That's what she sent me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Now, mind you, she sent me this probably about a day after I had texted her, so I knew she had to be praying and asking the Lord what to discuss. So we are ready for you to jump in and first and foremost tell us about what in the world does this topic mean?
Well, most of us, these young people, they may not know anything about it, so that includes you. That would include you.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'm young. I'll take that. Yeah.
Any of us that are older, call us whatever you call us, seniors or whatever you may call us, we have experienced having mice or rats in our house. And the difficulty that there is in trying to get rid of them. And so, you try everything. You move, you put a little sugar in it, in the rat poison, then you move it to another place and you put it in another room and all of these kind of things, trying to get rid of this mouse. And now I said that as a prelude, but I'm going to switch back to that dog. And see, what we don't realize is that the dog is not a clean animal. He is not one of those clean animals that God talks about. And so when a dog gets sick, they vomit. They're so I'm going to be just a little graphic. When they vomit, their the contents of their stomach. You all have heard me say that is one of the ways that the body gets rid of its toxins and poisons. Things that you have put in the body is through either regurgitating, vomiting, diarrhea, the mucus, in the aerodigestive tract, and all of those kind of things. Getting, the body uses these methods to get rid of these toxins and poisons, these things that have been placed in the body. Now, the dog, when the dog gets sick and he vomits the contents of his stomach, he will go back to that vomit and eat it. And so let me see if I can find the scripture for you, because I know you want to, you're saying, well, where did you get that from? And why are you saying that? Mm-hmm. The Bible talks about the dog. He talks about the person that continues to go back to their sin, being like that. That is like the dog, the dog going back to its vomit.
Is that the one that you sent me, Proverbs 26:11?
Yes, that's exactly what I said. You want to read it for me?
Oh, let me pull it up. I was just looking back at the message that you sent me. So let's see, Proverbs. I can grab it real quick.
Okay, then I'll talk while you're grabbing it.
All right.
And so when they talk about that scripture, they talk about it is that the scripture is referring to an unwise person, a person that keeps returning back to their sin. And that is like the dog that returns to his vomit. Now, that is real graphic, and it's real, if I may use the word, nasty. That's what I think of. And so to think about that correlation, that correlation. Now, I'm going to leave there and go back to this rat or this mouse.
You want to read the scripture?
Yes, I do. Yes,
okay. I do. Proverbs 26:11, as a dog returneth to his vomit, so a fool returneth to his folly.
It's perfect. Oh. Thank you. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Marcus walked in.
Marcus.
Somebody tell me if that's better. Is it better? Okay.
We're just getting everything set up, making sure you guys don't miss anything from Dr. Hill on today. So we've had
yeah, this is new to me. All of this boom stuff and mic and all of this stuff is new to me. And I just ran in and sat down. So we're trying to work it out.
Doing good. You're doing good. You're doing good.
So you heard the scripture. Now let's look at the contrast of the mouse or the rat. The reason you could not get rid of that little rascal in your house, even though you saw even though you saw, they ate some of that rat poison. They did. You can see where it was when you put it in the container, and now you see where it has been reduced to. So you know that the mouse or the rat ate the poison. But guess what? They'll never come back to it again because they get sick. That poison, if it doesn't kill them, it will make them sick. And when they get sick, they say, oh no, next thing is kill me, and I'm not eating this again. So you're moving this rat poison all over the house, and you're mixing it with sugar, and you're doing all of these wonderful things to try to kill this mouse. And this mouse is saying, I am not going to let you kill me. I will never eat that again. Now, you may prepare it in a different way to try to catch them, but that, oh no, that made them sick. They will never eat it again. And so the reason the doctor laughs when we tell them, oh no, I'm coming off this medication. Oh no, because the doctor's going to say, you're going to have to take this for the rest of your life. You're going to have to take this high blood pressure medication. You're going to have to take this heart medication. You're going to have to take this high cholesterol medication. this diabetes medication, you're going to have to take it for the rest of your life. And then you come in there talking about the devil is a liar. I'm coming off this medication. And the doctor is laughing because he's saying the devil doesn't have anything to do with this. You going home and you're going to eat the same things that caused you to have this condition, and you're not going to stop eating it. And therefore, you're going to have to stay on this medication for the rest of your life. Mm-hmm. And that's why we can't get well. You know, you've had 10 people pray for you. Every time you get sick and end up wherever you end up, or every time you get sick, they put you on another medication, you know, you have 5 more people pray for you. They're praying for you. They're praying death off of you. They're covering you with the blood. And you feel better. You feel better, but you don't get well. And you don't get well because, pardon me, I need some water. That's what I need. You don't get well because, like that dog, our wonderful, wonderful, playful, that entity that goes back to his vomit, that eats a whole lot of other stuff, and then we let him kiss all over us, and we let him kiss all over our children and our babies. They all in our beds, get all up on top of our couches and all of that. And but yet they keep going back to that vomit or going back to that thing that caused them to be sick. And that is what the doctor is looking at. Oh no, you're going back to that thing. And so it is that thing why you can't get well. It's not that folks are praying for you and their prayers don't work, so they must not be anointing. That's not it. It is that your appetites are unregenerate, and that you like what you like and you like it like that. And what you like causes the condition that you have, and it's going to continue to cause the condition. And the reason you cannot say the devil is a liar is because of the law of sowing and reaping. You will reap what you sow, and if you sow to the body corruption, then you will reap corruption. Now, did I make that clear?
You did, and okay. You're bringing out some very good points, and I know I called you, and this is probably a little bit not too far off the topic, but it goes in what you were saying in terms of what you go back to, in terms of what you're eating. I called you the other week about a condition that I was dealing with, and the last call when I called you, you said, "I tell you what, eat raw." Just go straight, eat raw. Your body's going to replenish it, so it's going to rebuild. And I said, okay, I can do that. You were like, okay. And I did that. And I saw how my body started. I was like, whoa, this is good stuff.
Yeah. See, God knew what he was doing when he put us in the garden. He knew exactly what he was doing. I'm going to cut you off.
No. I mean, and I'm just a test, I can testify to that basically. If you do, like you said, like God knew what he was doing. If you do what he instructs, then, a lot of these conditions, that we've had, I was even thinking about, I think it was a couple of health and wellness segments ago, we were talking about styes on the eye.
Yeah.
And you mentioned about, us, what we're consuming. Mm-hmm. And so I started thinking, my goodness, if I had been, paying attention, years ago when I was dealing with styes or whatever, then of course it would eliminate it. And then also the resale product too. I actually felt like it was maybe not too long after you and I talked about that. I felt the style, you can kind of feel it coming on.
Yes.
Take some resale and put it on your eye. I said, just put it on there. You were like, yeah. And when I felt it coming on after we talked, I took some, put it on, and I put it on my eye. And I didn't get a sty coming up. And I was like, oh, wow, okay, cool. I need to give you some testimonials. I need to do some testimonials for you. But yeah, I would agree with our diet and with the Riso product as well. So I'm sorry. Go ahead. I just want to throw that in there.
That's okay. That's okay. And thank you. Thank you. It's going to seem like I'm all over the place today, and you'll probably say, well, you're all over the place every month. So what's new about today? But the times that we're living in, I'm watching, and it's disheartening. Because for me, it's disheartening. It's a little disheartening because we're eating, you say cholesterol makes it possible for the coronavirus to infect you. If you don't eat cholesterol, then the virus cannot attach to your cell, and it can't infect you. And so we, we're like, oh, I don't believe that. I'm gonna eat my cholesterol because I like my French fries, I like my burgers, I like my cheese, I like my macaroni and cheese, I like my bacon burger, I like my, all my starches and my meats together and all of these kind of things. I like it, and I like it like that, and I'm going to continue to eat it. And so I'm looking at these recipes, and I'm looking at, the dinner plates, and I'm looking at all these things. And I just want to make you aware of where we are now in time and in season. And I know most of us have been watching Dr. Hunt and where he has been teaching. And I tell you, it is a lifesaver. It is not for entertainment. What he is teaching is not for entertainment. It is absolutely for survival and for to maintain and to preserve our lives. And so this information that I'm getting ready to give you, this information will save your life. So get a pencil, pen, recording device, get it, because you're going to need this information. We just crossed over into the fall, right? In America, every year, we have approximately, oh no, where is my notes? Thousands. Okay. I do know that it's thousands will die from the cold and the flu. How do I know that? Because every year, annually, thousands die from the cold and the flu. It is not reported because they want us to believe that the vaccination, the flu vaccination, and all of this, the antiviral medications, they want us to believe that they work and that we have this cold and flu thing down pat. But we do not, because thousands of people, and you can look it up for yourself. You can go to the CDC, you can go to the government, you can go to universities where they do research, and you can read their research, and you can see. Someone said a while ago, if you want to hide something, put it in a book. And we can say put it in a report also if you have to read it. And so we get our information from Facebook. We get our information from the media outlets. We get our information from YouTube. We get all of our information from people that have not looked at any research, people that have vested interest in you believing, you having a certain mindset and all of those things. And so we don't get truth. And in this time and season, it is going to be absolutely imperative that you know truth, because it will mean your life. Now, we're going into the fall. the cold and the flu season. We know annually that thousands die from the cold and the flu, and that's not worldwide. That's here in the good old US of A, in America. And so on top of that, we have this coronavirus. And we have this coronavirus that has been mishandled in such a manner that it is all out of control. This virus, your physical body will annihilate any virus. I don't care if it's corona, I don't care if it's Ebola, I don't care what it is. The immune system was designed. See, we're looking for a vaccine. We're looking for something for the scientists, the researchers, whatever, to make a vaccine that will protect us from this coronavirus. When your body, the immune system, already makes a vaccine, they already make a poison that targets that particular entity. So that means that whatever entity, whatever the entity is called, whether it is a virus or a bacteria, whether it is a fungus, whatever the case may be, your um your immune system, and you've heard me say this before, the white blood cells, they seek out and destroy. I put a pin right there. Microwaved food destroys white blood cells. So if your meals come out of the microwave, you're destroying your own white blood cells and your own immune system, because the microwave also destroys the natural killer T cells. It is the natural killer T cells and their ability to become memory cells that gives you the natural immunity, that gives you, that makes it possible for you not to even have to worry about this coronavirus. Oh, it's returning in the fall and it's going to be worse. It's a second wave and it's going to be worse than that before. If your natural immunity, which God placed in your body, was not being destroyed by what we're putting in our mouth, we would never have to worry about it, because we would have a natural immunity. We would have the innate ability that God has placed in our body. One component of that is that when the white blood cells identify, called macrophage, big eaters, when they identify that entity, whether it's the coronavirus or whatever it is, when they identify it, and then they arrest it, sending for the B cells to come and get a piece of that entity, take it back to the laboratory where the DNA is coded and identified. Once that DNA is coded and identified, they immediately right then make a vaccine. They make a bug spray. They make a repellent that is targeted to that entity and that entity only and its DNA. And then it is taken back and accompanied by the natural killer T cells, Rambo, I call them Rambo, taken back to where that entity is, which has been captured by the macrophage. And that bug spray, that repellent, that vaccine is used, that chemical that has been especially made for that entity is used by the natural killer T cell to totally annihilate and destroy it. And then that natural killer T cell is shut off and it becomes a memory cell. You've heard me say it before. It becomes a memory cell. So what if there is a second wave of the virus, the coronavirus? Your body has already identified, um, it is already encoded the DNA of that coronavirus, and It is already stored in the memory T cell, so that when you come against it, when you come in contact with it again, hey, your body goes into action. It has everything that it needs to destroy, to totally annihilate that entity. And so our difficulty is that, one, that we have taken vaccines since we were children that stop that process. See, our immune system, it no longer goes through that activating that natural killer T cell. It no longer goes through the process of making that its own vaccine, and it no longer codes and stores the memory of that DNA, so that the next time you come into contact with it, it automatically goes into action and destroys that entity. And so we have put ourselves in a dilemma. We have placed ourselves in a dilemma. We eat those things that totally, instead of those foods, eating the foods that will give us the properties, the phytoalexins that will totally annihilate the entities that we come up against. Because we don't eat those foods, then we don't have those properties, those components that give us and gives our body the ability to come against anything that will come against our body. And that's why the doctor laughs. The doctor knows you're not doing what it takes. You're going to need me. You're going to need me. You're going to need my medicine for the rest of your life. And so I'm going to take it. Yes.
Keeping them in business. Let me do this. If you guys are just now joining us, we're listening to Dr. Shirley Hill, Mo Faith Nutritional Services. My Body and Soul is hosting the monthly health and wellness segment with Dr. Hill. She comes on every month. So today we're talking, about that very interesting topic title. And she's been actually breaking it down for us, and I appreciate her for doing that. And I'm going to get to a lot of your comments. But again, today's topic title, Why You Can't Get Well. The answer is found in the wisdom of the dog and the rat. That topic alone should drew you to today's session so that you can understand, well, what is Dr. Hill talking about? So she's been breaking it down in terms of what we eat, our diet, and what we keep going back to. She also referenced the scripture, I believe it was Proverbs 26:11, about the dog returning to its own vomit. Now, what I want to do, like I mentioned, I wanted to acknowledge some of you that did jump in after Dr. Hill began talking, and appreciate you for joining us. Carmen Martinez, I see you. Ernest Brooks, I may have called your name, I'm not sure, but thank you. Brandy says the dog has good sense. Kamitra's Hunt is on. She says, good afternoon. Great afternoon to you too as well. Thank you for tagging individuals, Brandy. I appreciate you. She also says here, the devil isn't making us sick. Our unregenerate appetites are. And that's something to think about if we want to live. Angela Lane, Dennis, or is it Denise Hoffman? Thank you for watching. Dr. Hunt is on. He's saying blessings. Sunday Love is on. Thank you. Blessings to you, sir. I appreciate you, Dr. Hunt. I do. I really do. Carolyn Maxwell says, good afternoon, everyone. And Dr. Hunt, I wanted to scoot down because I know he made some comments. He says here, Hosanna, oh God, save us now. Yeah. And then he also gave some stats when you were mentioning about the seasonal flu. He had 35,000 to 70,000 every year die from the seasonal flu. And I don't think people really realize or understand that, but it's serious. That's why even in the news, they're always, okay, it's coming up on flu season. They're trying to, at least the news is trying to alert you. But I say, listen to Dr. Hill so you won't have to go through that. Is it Tyranny? I hope I pronounced your name right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. And let's see, Sabrina is on. Apostle Miles, thank you for watching. Angela says, God is so awesome. He created us to live. Keep teaching, Dr. Hill. And Angela also says, I'm glad I don't like the microwave food anyway. Me too, Angela, me too. Apostle Miles says, I beseech thee, save us now, O Lord. And I agree with you. Brandy says, we're waiting for the cure to be created in the lab, but God already coded immunity to the virus in our DNA. That's deep. You said it. That's good stuff. Divine Favor, thank you for watching, dear. Appreciate you. Dorothy Pitts is on, and Divine is she's doing her thing by tagging. Thanks for watching, cousin Jamone. We appreciate you. I know you're traveling, so I thank you for stopping in. There's a comment here from Brandy. We've stripped our bodies of the natural ability to fight off the virus, but we can get it back. It's totally within our power. And I like when Brandy does that, because she kind of gives like little tidbits of what you're saying and kind of throw them in the comment section, so it'll be reiterated to us. So thank you for doing that, Brand. Angela says, I'm sorry. There's a question for you. She says, can I still eat a burger if I boil it in water first with vinegar and then use a grill? She says she loves her turkey burgers.
You want me to answer that now?
Yes.
Grilling causes cancer.
So even if she boils the meat first, still grilling?
Grilling causes cancer.
I tried, Angela. I tried.
It forms acrylamides when you grill meat and you grill carbohydrates such as potatoes and that type of thing, then acrylamides are formed. Doesn't matter that you boil them and put a little vinegar or put them in vinegar and water. The acrylamide still forms and it causes cancer. And the same mechanism. No, don't let me say that, because that's not quite accurate. So it causes cancer.
Okay. That's your answer. I tried, because I saw where you were going with that, Angela, but that's okay. Angela Johnson is on, and on my watch party, I see you, Diana. Thank you so much for watching, and cousin John Smalley. I appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys click that share button. This is vital information if you want to live. Click the share button. Health and Wellness Wednesdays, every fourth Wednesday with Dr. Shirley Hill. And she cares about you. She's not just spouting off because she wants to pick with whatever you're eating or your coffee or what have you. She cares about you physically and spiritually. So when someone cares about you, then you want to take time to listen to hear what they have to say, because what she's getting is straight from the Lord. Brady says, what about cooking turkey burgers in the oven or on the stove?
Well, when you cook meat on high heat, now I'm going to say this about your turkey burgers. Depending upon where you get them, you need to always read your ingredients, because inevitably you're going to find some pork in that turkey burger. But, that's, maybe you'll find or have found a brand that doesn't have the pork hidden somewhere in there. You can't. The problem is the heat. The problem is not the oil. It's not how. The problem is the heat when you're cooking on the stove or in the oven, broiling in the oven. And the higher the heat, the more acrylamide is formed. And then remember that processed meat, whether it's called a turkey burger or whether it's called a piece of bacon, it has nitrates and nitrites in them. Nitrates and nitrites cause cancer. They cause cancer. And that cancer is specific to the brain. Now, it can cause cancer in other places, but it crosses the blood-brain barrier. And so it causes tumors, and it causes deterioration and degeneration in the brain cells. And so, sorry, I can't help you.
Okay. All right. So even again, going back to the boiling, it doesn't matter, or does it make it a little better? But it just doesn't matter at all, the boiling?
The boiling doesn't change the fact that it forms acrylamide. Well, you know what? Let me change that. Let me change that. Because I believe if you boil potatoes first, and if you boil things like your chicken first and your turkey. But now remember, when you talk about turkey burgers, you're talking about a processed meat. And that processed meat, though the water, it may dissipate the acrylamides, it does not dissipate, and it does not remove the nitrates and the nitrites from the processing. So, you know, I cannot recommend that. That is not something that I can
recommend. Okay, she's not going to put her stamp of approval on it. Okay, all right. So let's see. Tandale. Oh, how are you? Thanks for watching. I think she wants to share you with Brandy. I think that's what she said. Okay. Thanks for watching, Tandale. We appreciate you.
Brandy is selfish. She's
not there. Yeah, she is. She's told me that before too. Tandale has a comment here. God built us to fight off outside forces. We got to treat our temples right, eat right, and the body will do the rest. So you guys can continue throwing in comments and questions as Dr. Hill is sharing with us on today with this topic. And if you happen to have questions related to what she's discussing, or if you have any health and wellness related question, we do open it up on these fourth Wednesdays for you. So say, for instance, you may have a question about, I don't know, something with your diet or something you're dealing with physically that you want to ask Dr. Hill. Please, you're more than welcome to throw them into the comments section. I'll definitely read them here or on the YouTube channel. Or if you desire to call us this afternoon, you can do so. 505-552-2638. I know we have a lot of questions because, you know, when you get to talking about, you're like, okay, I want to do right by my body, but then Dr. Hill says, okay, but do this. You're like, but can I get a little amendment to that? I mean, it's okay to have those questions. It's okay. You know, she's here to respond and to answer, to help us out. Divine says here, if someone was diagnosed with cancer and knows that it's spread, but haven't found out the actual origin, what is the first steps they should take as far as elimination of certain foods, etc., or adding certain foods?
Anyone that has cancer, they should go raw immediately. And even if it has spread, I don't think in all the years that I've been dealing with people with cancer, I don't think there's anyone that has come to me before the fourth stage. They're always in the fourth stage, the last stage, and it doesn't matter whether it's breast cancer, whether it's a brain tumor, whether it's liver cancer, whether it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's spread through the body, because remember, we're talking about the body that carries out the healing. The disconnect there is that we don't put the foods in the body that gives the mechanisms in the body, the healing mechanisms that is needed to heal the body. Those enzymes, those phytoalexins, those all of those antioxidants, the nutrients that the body needs, they activate. They activate the processes, the healing processes. If the body has what it needs. Now, we don't have the ability to make vitamin C anymore. We used to have the ability, but our as a species, we no longer have the ability to make vitamin C, even though there once was a time that we did. So the enzyme is still in the food, but we don't have that corresponding gene. We don't have the corresponding gene. And so then when we do vitamin C, we have to do it. If we have caught something, when we do vitamin C, we have to do it in massive amounts because we don't have that process cannot be completed as it was made to be completed. And so I recommend that they go raw. I recommend that they go raw. I recommend that they stop eating meat immediately. And that is because cooked meat causes cancer. I recommend that they stop eating chocolate immediately. You know, people that have cancer, they love chocolate.
Really?
Love it. And someone, I was so tickled. No, I wasn't tickled. I was a little irritated. But then after we talked, I got tickled. She just kept texting me about what chocolate can you recommend? and I texted her and said, I don't recommend chocolate. You know that I don't. That's not what I recommend. And so she said, well, the healthy chocolate. Where can I get the healthy chocolate? And so I texted her back and I said, America doesn't make healthy chocolate. I said, if it's sweet, if it tastes good in any kind of way, it has the ingredients in it that, that causes the problems. And so then she kept texting me, she's going to make me give her this healthy chocolate. I called her on the phone and I told her the healthy chocolate, you would not like it. I would only recommend 90% chocolate and no more than 10% of the other ingredients. And we don't have that. I said, you won't know. What I told her is, you would be very hard pressed to find that. I said, now, if you find it and you like it, let me know. And she started laughing. But chocolate turns on cancer cells. So now remember that cancer cells are hit and hide entities. So like the virus, like the coronavirus, they breach the cell membrane and then they hide in the cell, waiting for you to eat something to activate them. That chocolate is one of those somethings that will activate it. So my recommendation for anyone that has cancer is that they go raw. They go raw immediately. They make sure that raw is organic, and that means no dairy. That means absolutely no dairy. We're talking about raw. That means salads, smoothies, juices, and that's my recommendation.
Okay. And it looks like Divine heard you, so she's kind of typing it in. I think she's tagging individuals so that they'll know.
And let me add this to that. And I've seen it work. I've seen it totally work for those that have had cancer and tumors in the last stages, where the doctor has given them 11 days to live, 4 days to live, and all of that kind of thing. And not only did they live, but they lived on while others died. Especially one of my hearts was a little 5-year-old little girl who had a liver tumor, who was the size, the tumor was 54 inches. It caused her waist to be as big as a man's waist. Well, and I was telling Dr. Hunt, I've only found it take 3 months, no more than 3 months, to take cancer from the last of the last stages all the way back to the first stage and beyond, to where they can't even detect, where cancer is not even detectable in the body. And this works extremely well. It works extremely well for everything, but prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is one of the easiest things in the world to get rid of. breast cancer is one of the easiest things to get rid of. It's hard work, but it's easy for the body to heal itself from it. So cancer is no biggie, but you have to give the body what it needs to eliminate it.
That's good stuff. Good stuff. Let's see. Divine had a question. What about beans?
Beans, yes. Beans, as long as they're not in a can and as long as they're not in a box.
Okay. All right. So, all right. I know sometimes if you go to maybe like Whole Foods or something, they'll have them
in the plastic bag.
Right.
No plastic.
No plastic?
No plastic. Okay. So I always recommend.
What I'm saying is they have the containers where you can get them out of.
Yeah. Yes, you can. Okay. Yeah, you can. And right. Yes, absolutely. There's an exception. I want to make this clear. Divine. If we're talking about cancer, we're talking about raw, and that includes beans. So no beans that take anything cooked takes too long for the body to have to digest it. And that is energy that the body needs to use for healing and reversing disease. And so when you eat cooked foods, that cooked foods, it takes away from the process, the healing process, and the reversal of the disease. Now, when we're talking about cancer, cancer is over 100 different conditions. And this is what disturbs me about when people that don't know the chemistry of food and they don't know cancer, when they say to people, oh, I did such and such, I took so and so, I used this herb and it healed my cancer. Well, your cancer was your cancer in the first or second stage? Did you have all the complications that this other person had? They're in fourth stage cancer. They have cancer that is spread to their lymph nodes, to their bone, to their back. They have cancer that is spread all over their bodies, and you're telling them to take this herb or this product to get rid of something that you had that was in the early stages that you could have gotten rid of. That something that was very simple. It can't work, and we're talking about people's lives. Mm-hmm. So please don't try to fool with something that you don't have the expertise for. Okay. If someone has cancer, it depends upon where they are in that process, how many conditions they have working, what of those 100 conditions, because you've got to address all of them. Everything that is in play in that cancer, you have to address all of it, and you have to address all of it at the same time, which is why you don't eat cooked food, because cooked food, it will diminish the power that is needed. All of those digestive enzymes and all of that, they can be used to break down cancer cells instead of being used to break down the beans or to break down that turkey or whatever it is that you had a taste for.
Okay. I have a couple of questions for you now, because so when she asked about the beans, you were talking about no cooked beans. What beans are you referring to then?
I'm referring to the dried beans, the cooked beans. Beans, you have to cook beans.
Right. Okay. All right. I was trying to understand what you were saying.
Yeah. I thought you said no cook. Thank you for clarifying.
Okay.
Have to be cooked. And when you have cancer, you really, and you want to get well, you really don't want to eat foods that will take away from the healing and rejuvenating process. It's a lot of work. It's not difficult for the body when you give it what it needs, but it is a lot of work to go from the last stages of cancer all the way back to no cancer being detected. It's easily done by the body in 3 months, but it can't do it if you're only, if it's trying to split its energy between cooked foods and meats and all of those things. It needs all of its energies to work on that condition.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. I have a question on the watch party. Is silk, the silk milk, is that considered dairy?
No, it's a plant. It's soy. Actually, silk is soy. And so the only thing about soy silk is that I recommend that you get the organic. Soybeans were one of the first things that was transformed into that they genetically modified. And so with anything, if it's imami, if I'm pronouncing it correctly, those are soybeans. That's imami. It's made. Those are soybeans. If it's soy milk, it has to be organic, because if it isn't, it is guaranteed to be a GMO, genetically modified organism.
Okay. All right, Gina, thanks for that question. Hopefully that answers that for you. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I normally do get the organic.
And that's with any plant milk. That's with any plant-based milk. You want it to be organic. Your fruits and vegetables, you want them to be organic.
Okay. All right. Tiffany has a question over here on the Facebook Live feed, and she asks, is there any specific fruit, or is all fruit okay? Because most fruit is high in sugar.
The sugar that is in fruit is the sugar your body needs. That fruit, the sugar that is in the fruit is needed by your chromosome spine. The spine of your chromosome is made out of ribose, which is a sugar. And so the body needs sugar. It's just the kind of sugar that is the problem. And so what has happened is everything is lumped in the same, it's lumped in the same bin or basket. The body needs cholesterol. It needs cholesterol to make your skin. It needs cholesterol for the brain. It needs cholesterol to build fatty tissue. All of that. It is a dietary cholesterol that's the problem. The cholesterol that's in our meat, the cholesterol that is in our enriched flour, the cholesterol that is in those white eggs that we eat, in the meats that we eat, all of that cholesterol is animal. It is animal cholesterol, and due to I will say this: we are not animal. That's not what we are, even though that's what we were taught all of our lives when they were teaching such things in school. We're not animals. We're plants. We came out of the ground just like plants. We grew out of a garden. God took the soil that God used was topsoil, the most nutrient dense soil that there is. Therefore, we are the same. And that's why when you eat plants, they have the receptors on our cells. The plants have the key to unlock, to turn and unlock that receptor. The sugar that's in the plant, that sugar is what the spine of your chromosome needs to function and do what it is that we do. So everything we eat is a counterfeit. It's a counterfeit, and that's where we have the disease from. Because the sugar that we eat, the sugar that causes the problem in the body, is that white sugar, that sugar that is not plant sugar, and that is the sugar that causes the problem. So fruit, unless you have diabetes, now if you have diabetes, you should not eat sweet fruit. So you should have a green apple instead of the Gala apple, the red, and all of that. You should eat green apples. You should be, if you're going to eat grapes, then you should eat a few green grapes. So it is, plant sugar is different. It's actually needed by the body.
Okay. All right. Hopefully that answered your question, Tiffany. And she has another one here. What should you cook those beans in? broth or water?
If you made the broth yourself, you can cook it in broth. And so that means that, see, when we think of broth, we think of meat. We think of meat. We don't think of herbs and spices, those things that cure cancer, that will keep you, that will prevent you from getting cancer, that will not give you the high blood pressure and all of those things. See, we use the meat, saturated fat, which has the all of the chemicals from the processing. And then we put in there MSG, those out of the shakers that we have in our cabinet, that gives that wonderful flavor. That MSG, that is a brain excitotoxin. We use the salt, and of course, we know the problems with the salt. It's not what the problem is not what we think it is. The problem with the salt is that it is a sodium, and that sodium does not have its cofactor, the cofactor mineral that keeps it in balance. We use instead of using onions and garlic, the plant onions and garlic, with the dill, with the leeks, we use that onion powder. We use garlic powder. We use all of the powders. Those powders have aluminum in them, and that aluminum, it attacks the brain, and that aluminum causes cancer. So I don't know.
Let me ask you. Okay, that was great. Hopefully she answered your question. Now, when you talk about those seasonings,
yes,
so you think all seasonings have the aluminum in it? That we,
if they're bought off the shelf where we normally get it, like in Jewel's and Walmart's and all of that. The seasonings that you get that are organic. Now, there's a trick to that. Everything in that container has to be organic. Now, what happens, one of the ways that we're being tricked or deceived is that one of the ingredients in it is organic. So that allows them to put organic on the label. But you've got 20 ingredients in there, and none of them are organic. And so what I don't understand is, what's wrong with using onions? What's wrong with using the garlic? Why can't we use the dill and the leeks? Because that's how you make broth. It is not, it is, we like that meat flavor. But when you use the real herbs and spices, you don't miss the meat flavor. And it's a wonderful broth.
Okay. I have used organic vegetable broth before, where it was just, there was nothing else in it. And I have also purchased the seasonings that were, everything on there was organic. Everything. I mean, because I'm always looking at the labels and I'm trying to see what's in there, whatever. So, trying to make sure they're not throwing anything in there on me or whatever. But I have found something like that.
And you know what? That's a good alternative. But guess what you don't have? You don't have the healing properties of the plant.
True.
So, because onions and garlic, they kill parasites that's in the gut, that causes a lot of our digestive problems. They kill the gut. I think it's 70 to 80% of the immune system is in the gut. Well, because they kill the parasites, that kills, and the overflow of the yeast in the gut. It also boosts the white blood cells, the natural killer T cells. It boosts the immunity. And so we don't get any of that when we shake when we shake that out of a bottle.
Now, when I do use the onion and the fresh onion and fresh garlic also. Even in addition to that.
Go on and fix it up.
I mean, I've done it. you know, how we came down, how we've been trained to do it. But then in changing how I do it, I do also use the fresh.
I'm only teasing you, but I do want to say this, that most of us that use those things, there isn't an onion or a garlic or leek, dill, none of that is on the premises. It's all, but we got 20 of those bottles up in our cabinet. And so that's one of the reasons why we don't have, our body does not have the healing properties and the ability to repair as it should, is because of the substitutes that we are using instead of the food that has the phytoalexins in it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see. I think that was Tiffany with that broth question and the beans. Hopefully she answered your question. Good enough. You let us know. Let's see. Divine says those with diabetes should not eat sweet fruits and green apples. Okay, so she's recapping what you said.
And can I have her put something with that? Put with that, Divine. Put with that, woman of God. Put with that they should eat sour. They should eat and drink sour. And so one of those sour things is cherry or cranberry juice from the health food store that makes your cheeks go. It should be that sour. Wow. If it doesn't make your cheeks go in like that, then it's got some sugar in it and you should not drink it. But that will help. See, that will help to snatch that. It'll help to snatch that that blood sugar down. Another thing that will help is the celery. 3 stalks of celery. It will. Most people have high blood pressure that have diabetes, and so 3 stalks of celery will help to snatch that blood pressure down. And because it is a bitter food, then it also works on the blood sugar. Diabetics, I want to say it's a necessity for them to eat bitters and for them to eat and drink sour.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that clarification. So, Divine, if you get a chance, put that in the comment section under there. They need to eat sour. Muhammad Jamal is watching. Thanks so much. We appreciate you. Tiffany says, okay, you teaching today. I had no idea about the seasonings. Buddy, thanks for joining us. I know you had some things to take care of today, so thank you for hopping in with us on today. Let's see. I'm making sure I'm grabbing everybody because I appreciate all of you for hopping in. Garland is on. Thank you for watching. Divine asked the question, does it matter if it's, is that, she's asking about a certain, is it Vidalia onion? Is that what you're asking? I think there may have been a mistype there. I think she's asked about Vidalia onions to make broth, cooking onions or red onions. Does it matter?
That's your preference. That's your preference. But I will say this. The red onion has in it anthocyanins because of that color. So purple and blues and anything that is a combination of that purple and blue, you know that it has anthocyanins in it, and that helps with that. It's excellent for that circulatory system, and it does there are a lot of anthocyanins that do a lot of things in the body. You want those anthocyanins. So red onion has more.
It has more. Okay, great. So she did say that's your preference, Divine. So thanks for asking that question. Brandy says, my goal for 2021, my own herb garden in the kitchen and vegetable gardening in the back porch. She said, Snoopy better not touch.
Brandy, go visit your sister-in-law, Carissa, because Carissa has started growing food in the big pots on the back porch. And so I said I was going to have her do a class for me. So she said, so get with her and you all can, y'all can start a business. I'll help you.
Watch out now. Watch out. I tell you, those heels. Randy, you'll always be a heel, I know. Let's see, Divine says here, those with diabetes should eat or drink sour. Okay, thank you for putting that in the comments. from the health food store. Makes your cheeks pucker. She put it all in there. Thanks, Divine. Appreciate it. And she has another question here. What protein besides greens for those with cancer?
I always recommend spirulina. I recommend spirulina because spirulina has all of the amino acids. See, protein is an end stage result of the process. We don't need protein. We need amino acids so the body can make protein. But one of the problems that we have, which is how we get into difficulty, is that we fill our body with protein, and most of it is animal protein, and and all of that animal protein is where we get the non-enzymatic end stage glycation, which means processes that are not completed because there are no enzymes there, because that protein, the animal already utilized the enzymes. And so now you're putting in your body all of this saturated fat and whatever parasites that animal had in that body, you're putting that in your body, and there's no enzymes there to facilitate healing, to evacuate it from the body, or to even digest it. And so protein should be plant. I recommend spirulina. I've used it for a very long time and recommended it for a very long time. And there are a lot of people, I know some of you that are listening, but you need your spirulina to be kosher. You need it to be kosher. You need it to be non-GMO, and you need it to be organic. Now, kosher is actually better than organic, but I say them both. You need to be kosher, organic, non-GMO. Your spirulina.
Okay. All right.
Plant. I'm sorry. I recommend plant amino acids. So then the plants that you eat, they have the amino acids that the body uses to make human protein.
Okay. Great. All right. This is good stuff. I'm telling you, Divine is helping us today. That's good. Good stuff. Let's see. Belinda is on. Thanks for watching. Dr. Hill, when you, maybe we can do this now. Can you, I know you asked Divine to place in the comment section about those with diabetes that you need to eat sour. Can you explain why again? Because there was someone that just came on, so they saw her comment, but they want to understand why.
Because it helps to lower the blood sugar. It helps to it helps to how can I say this? It helps to repair the pancreas, cause it to function as it should. It helps it to function as it should. It helps to lower the blood sugar, and it does several things in the body that the diabetic needs to get done.
Okay. All right. So hopefully that answered your question. I think that was Michelle that answered that. So it helps to lower the blood sugar and everything else she just said. So hopefully that answered your question. That's the summary of it. All right, this is great. Question from Buddy Hill or comment. Dr. Hill, if you write a book, I promise I'll buy it a few times for myself and those whom I love. Your expertise and knowledge is worth a lot. It saves lives. Yeah.
Pray for me. I have, this is going to sound really bad. It's going to, and it worse than it sounds. I should have written a book. I should be on my second or third book. Let me say it that way, because the things that I know now and the circumstances that we're going through now would be different from what it would have been several years ago. But I promise you this.
2021.
When
2021.
2021. Before 2020 is out, I will have written that book. I have several chapters on it, and let me tell you how shrewd the enemy is. This is why you need to be organized. Dr. McCoy found my first book, and she texted me and said, she put the cover on, and she said, "Guess what I found?" And I said, "I need that book because I need to update it." And so she has emailed me, texted me, then at least 5 or 6 times that book. And she sent a copy, tried to send a copy to the printer so that I could have it printed out so that I could go through and I could update it. And I looked, when I looked at what she had sent him, it was about 3 chapters. Nothing else. And then when I looked, and I know I had the entire book. That entire book, even in the email, it's like it just, was wiped out of existence. And so I said, well, okay, God, I'm going to pull together my own notes and pull together the things that I have, and I'm going to get this book done before the year is out. I have the publisher that has been calling me, worrying me. Little guy's been worrying.
Do it.
I am going to do it. I am. I'm going to do it. I will not repent another year. I will not repent to Dr. Hunt, because he told me years ago to do this book. Apostle Thomas, just, my apostle Dion Hunt. And, there's a blockage, and there's just something. I can do a video. I think I've done, how did Spanky said that was 6 hours. We did a 6-hour video on the law of kinds and every other kind of law on food. So pray for me, pray for me.
Please do, because this is here in Mind, Body, and Soul. They love you every month. They can't wait to get them to you. So you gotta put it in writing. You gotta do bids. You gotta get this out. And I don't know where I'm going this way, but please take your time out.
Okay, I will. I promise I will. But before I forget that I'm talking to Buddy Gill here, so I'm going to need at least 10 poems from you, so that I can put them in between each chapter. And
you talking about that? Now that's Elder McGee. Oh, that's Elder McGee.
Sorry. Well, Elder McGee, I apologize. I apologize, and Buddy Gill, I apologize. But Elder McGee, if you're listening, that's what I need from you.
Okay, all right. We'll let him know. He does have one for today, as a matter of fact, too, that I'll be playing. So yeah, that'll be good. But don't let that stop you. You can get your All right, so let's see. I'm going to scroll through here to make sure, see if we have any questions. Again, just not joining us, I see some that just came on. Grace and Carolyn, we appreciate you. And then there's some other questions on the watch party as well. But again, we're talking to Dr. Hill today. This is our monthly health and wellness segment here on Mind, Body, and Soul with Annette. We normally feature her, and she comes on. She gives us a topic of discussion. But then we do open up the floor for anyone who has questions on health and wellness itself. So for the past maybe 30 minutes or so, we've been answering your questions that you've been throwing into the live feed, and we do appreciate that. Let me hop over to our watch party. Gina says here, Dr. Hill, I thought it was a question. She's giving you a compliment. You're a walking testament of faith. Not only do you give very good health tips, but I can look at you and see that it works. All right. Thanks, Gina. Appreciate that. Yeah, I always call her a little spicy lady.
Let me interrupt you.
Sure.
And I do apologize. But the last 30 minutes, if I can address the coronavirus and talk about the fast.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure. Okay, so then let me do this. Let me just read these real quick, and then we can let you go into, because I wanted you to get back to what you definitely wanted to give to us today. Let's see. Belinda asked a question. Do you have anything for a teenager with ADHD?
Yes, the resale. The resale is very good because it's the brain and it's the fat in the brain. Now, let me ask you this. What is their diet? Because it may just be that you need to tweak their diet. If you're letting them eat Doritos, if you're allowing them to eat frozen food, canned goods, um, those chips and all of those things that are orange and red, um, then those are neurotoxins. They're neurotoxins. They completely alter the brain and the nervous system. And so um, that will be the first thing that you will need to do. You will need to remove those things from the diet. Anything that poisons the brain, MSG, Chinese food. If Chinese food is their favorite food, then you're going to have to sit them down if they're old enough, talk to them, explain why you're doing what you're doing, and then you're just going to have to get on it because that is a neurotoxic um, condition, and so then you have to remove the toxicity and then facilitate repair. So yes, but you see, you will have to definitely um, have a consultation because a consultation will identify in the diet what is causing it. Now, it may have been from birth, but yes, even though it's from birth, the body can repair itself, and so you have to, even though it's from birth, there are things that that child has eaten since birth that has contributed to that condition, uh, advancing it on further. And so those are the things that you've got to identify. You have to reverse them, and then you have to repair. Then you can repair or reverse the condition, and it can be done.
Okay. Awesome, awesome. So let's see, who was that? I think that was Belinda that asked that question. So you may need to contact Dr. Hill directly, as she stated, for consultation to get further information. So she can get further information, then be able to help you as well. So let's see, Dr. Hill, you want to go into, she did say thank you. She threw in a comment section, thank you for that. You want to talk about the fast, and you want to talk about, did you say COVID?
The coronavirus, yes.
Okay.
And then the fast.
Okay.
And there's a reason that I'm doing it in that order.
All right.
So then, our government and our officials are talking about this herd immunity, and that the only way, because we will not have a vaccine until way up into whatever, that we're going to have to let this virus run out. And so the way to get rid of it is for the virus to run out of people to infect. Now, okay, does that make sense to anybody? But to anybody, that you're going to let everybody get the virus so that it can run out. And that is in essence what they're saying, because 70 to 90% of the 30, Dr. Hunt, he can help me out with this better. I think it's 331 plus million Americans, and 70 to 90% of those Americans will have to get the virus. And then there is, I think it's 5%. I don't have, you can tell that I don't have this in my head, but I think it's 5% of those that contract the virus will die from the virus. Now, mind you, we're talking about millions of people. So 5% may not sound like anything until you start talking, realizing you're talking about millions of people. And so you don't want to catch the coronavirus. And not just because you may die, because you may live. You may get your virus, and then 14 days later, you're doing fine. But what they're not making known is that they have all over the world, universities, not Duke University, Oh, my very favorite research university. Research universities all over the world, they are compiling the long term side effects of this coronavirus. And they have compiled that they have compiled so far in just these few months is 98 long term conditions, chronic conditions, conditions that you may have, injury to organs, major organs that you will have the rest of your life. And so we're talking about stroke. We're talking about the heart. We're talking about the only thing that we know about is the respiratory system. But we're talking about inflammation in that sternum and in those connective tissues in that respiratory tract. We're talking about the brain, the coronavirus, it crosses the blood brain barrier. And so we're talking about neurotoxin. And that's why people are having it's altering moods, it's altering people's personalities. They don't seem to be the same person that they were before. They have mood alterations. um, they have everything that comes along with it, the anger, the rage, the fear, all of the depression, all of those things that come along with those are long term conditions. So that means that um, a month after you have had this coronavirus, a month after you're thinking, okay, 14 days, whatever, they're going to be just fine. But these are long-term conditions that can last for years. And not only speaking, you have not only that, but because you have gotten the virus, you are now vulnerable because that it's a hit and hide virus that hides in the cells, and it is activated over and over and over and over again. So every year, every few months, you can get this coronavirus. And as I said, we're talking about strokes, we're talking about bone problems, we're talking about respiratory problems, we're talking about neurotoxic conditions, we're talking about eyes, problems with the eyes, the same kind of problems you have as a diabetic. Um, there are, like I said, 98. Think of that. That's what you might as well say there are 100 conditions that are caused by this virus, and they're still testing and still counting. And so to say that you want 70 to 90% of the population to get that virus, that means that 70 to 90% of the population is going to have some of, if not all of these conditions, neurotoxicity to the brain. They're going to have problems to the nervous system. They're going to have problems in the bones. You're making the entire population a um I, I want to say you're making them, I don't want to just use the word sick, because making them debilitated. You're totally changing their lives. And it's a nation of the disease. It's a nation of the disease, and maybe even the world, but 70 to 90% of Americans. And now think about that on top of those thousands that die from the cold and the flu. And so with those that 70 to 90% that they want to get the coronavirus, they never mention that percentage that will die. They never mention the percent that will die. So how many of you want your children to die from this coronavirus? How many of you want your parents to die? How many of you want your church members to die? I have been inundated with calls from around the country with families that have the coronavirus. The mother, the grandmother, the grandfather, their children, the son. the son's children, and then their aunts and uncles, all of them in the same family, calling, panicking, literally panicking, because in their mind somebody's going to die. Somebody in that family is going to die. What can we do? What is it that we can do? Well, that's not a biggie, because the coronavirus is not. It is not incurable. It is not incurable. Your body can handle the coronavirus if you give your body what it needs. And so we have to look at that. We're being manipulated. We are being literally, Dr. Hunt likes to, he likes to quote Malcolm X. You've been all of those bins that he says, and I love that part of the movie. But that's what bamboozled. We're being bamboozled. We're being tricked. We're being lied to. We're being manipulated. And so, and it is because of our fear, the fear factor, that we are succumbing to all of this that we are being presented with. Now, you don't have to get herd immunity. The herd immunity is not the only kind of immunity. Your innate immunity that we were talking about earlier, that we were talking about boosting the immune system, not destroying the white blood cells and not destroying the killer T cells, boosting that natural immunity, the innate immunity, so that it can go through the entire cycle, which will give you the long-term immunity. See, it is the complete cycle that gives you the long-term immunity, so that you don't have to worry about if you walk through a crowd and somebody in there has something. Now, you don't want to be a carrier. You don't want to be a carrier. Now, a carrier will be someone who has just enough immunity, just enough to keep that virus out from hijacking their DNA and producing and causing them to be infected. But the virus is circulating, virions are circulating in the bloodstream, they're circulating in the respiratory system, they're circulating and they're hiding. And so then you take that home to your family, because you may not be infected, but you are a carrier. And so you're causing others, because your body is not quite as effective as it should be. It's only partially, that immune system is only partially working. Now, and then there are those, so then we have those that have that innate inborn immunity that God has given us. We have those, I'm trying to watch the time. We have those that will be carriers, that will infect others, that will infect their grandmother, that will infect their children, that will infect their best friends, because they're not going all the way. And then we have those that will get the virus, and in those that get the virus, they will die. So then, what is the answer? The answer is, and I love how strategic God is. God is so awesomely strategic. You heard me. I always refer back to Dr. Hunt, because Dr. Hunt, he told us with the last fast that we had in July, he said that God said, you have 3 months to prepare for the next. And it was exactly 3 months. So I came on, I think I came on several times a week and talked about how you would prepare your body. Then we had the fast. All right. And so now we have the same thing. Now we are coming up. There are more diseases that are circulating than we know. They're not saying anything about the myelitis that is circulating, that is the systemic inflammation in the body that's attacking our children. You don't hear anything about that. And then there are other things they don't say anything about. You've heard me say it. these millions of mosquitoes, genetically modified mosquitoes that they probably have already released, that they're going to release in Texas, and they have no idea what these genetically modified mosquitoes are going to do to us when they sting us. And so God has given us the fast. Now, the fast, on the third day of the fast, the immune system is boosted.
Okay.
The immune system is not just boosted, but it's reset. The immune system is reset on that third day, if you have prepared yourself properly. Because remember, you've got to have those 3,000 enzymes that carry out those 7,000 processes, plus the ability to repair and to cause your body, your health to spring forth speedily. So then, if you have prepared properly before that fast, and all of your energies is going towards boosting and repairing and revitalizing and rejuvenating, then your body can go into what is called autophagy, the process of autophagy. Now, autophagy, as you've heard me say, is a recycling, how the body recycles. So you've got bacteria in there, you've got viruses in there, you have cancer cells in there, you have dead tissue cells, molecules, all of that. Fat, you've got fat stuck here, there, everywhere. Your body, autophagy, recycles all of those things. That is harmful, it strips it down, and then it uses that can be used in repair, restoration, and rebuilding. And that needs to be eliminated, it is eliminated. That's why you can't be chronically constipated. That's why you cannot be constipated. And just getting some tea that's going to cause you to have a bowel evacuation, just getting an enema to have a bowel evacuation, that's not going to be enough, because the toxins are in every cell of the body, and you have trillions of cells, and all of those cells need to be detoxified before you go on the fast. That is the purpose of the 7 days, which we are right at now, the 7 days before the fast. You're beginning to eat raw, so that those enzymes, those phytoalexins, those antioxidants that's in that raw food, you can put it in your body. That's the greens that you eat in your salad that you eat twice a day. They cleanse that chlorophyll, that green chlorophyll. It detoxifies the cells. It builds the blood. So if you're anemic, it builds the blood. The center ion in that is identical, almost identical to your blood plasma. And so these are the things. And so you can go back to the videos that I have done. They talk about what you do, how you fast if you're on medications. And I think this morning I talked about something else pertaining to the fast. And so, but the one thing that you want to know is that you need to detoxify this body before the fast. You need to build it full of those things that need to be filled full of. And how you detoxify at the cellular level is with that, the green spirulina and the dark leafy greens on that rainbow salad, and which you will do two a day. You do 4 if you like, though. The more you do, yeah.
You'll really be regular there. Green coming out of no. I'm sorry.
It may not be coming out of, but you will live in the bathroom. Let me just say that. You will live in the bathroom, because all of those toxins and poisons from all of those trillions of cells, they will be evacuated from that body. And that's what you want before the fast.
That's true. Mm-hmm. So this is good stuff. And I'm glad you mentioned about your live feeds that you have been doing. So if any of you, you may just be joining this show on today. You can always go back and rewind and listen to today's show, but you can also go over to Dr. Hill's page, Shirley Hill, and listen to her past live feeds that she's done where she's, been assisting us. She's been answering questions. She's been talking about the fast. She's been talking about, what to do with your bodies, even in, response to COVID and all that. Go to her page, friend her. I'm sure she'll accept your friend request. And then Brandy also, I'm glad she did. She placed your Facebook page for the resale products. And so if anybody's interested in contacting Dr. Hill about the resale products, go to her Facebook page. And it is pinned there. Brandy, can you do me a favor? I have a watch party that's going also. If you're still on here, if you wouldn't mind copying that over to the watch party, it's on my Annette known as Annette page, because I want those that are over there to be able to see it as well. I want to make sure. Kenny Small, I do see you over on the watch party. You came in as well. And I see so many names that have jumped in. Elizabeth Madison, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate you. Rodney Braxton, Benita is on. Let's see, Randy Pettis, Michelle Casey is on. We had her on last week. Dynamic show on last week. She shared with us, and she was very transparent about how she suffered being molested when she was 8 years old. So that was a powerful, powerful show. Thank you for joining us on today. And I think I saw Mike Robinson on. Thanks for watching. This is some good stuff. You guys have to take this in. And what do I always tell you? Listen to Dr. Hill on every fourth Wednesday, Mind, Body, and Soul. Not going to cost you anything. After this, we call her up, consultation, you need to pay. All right? So take advantage of what she's given us here every month. Rodney says, good afternoon, prophetess, anointed spiritual queen. He's talking to Divine. All right, thanks for tagging, Divine. She has a heart for people too. I appreciate Divine. I really do.
She's a wonderful young woman to know.
Yes, definitely.
And her babies, she knows I've stolen her daughter, so.
Okay, all right.
She doesn't even remember me. She was a little girl when I stole them, but
all right. So you steal people like I steal family members.
Yeah.
I got you. Brandy says evacuation is not the same as detoxification. Thanks for placing that in the comments. Anita says, good afternoon, women of God. Bless you all in healing, mental, spiritual, and physical health through fasting and praying in Jesus' name. Let's see. And I think, okay, I'm scrolling down. Divine's letting individuals know that you can go to her page for any testimonials. And she has testimonials of people following her wisdom of God. And he speaks to her that was stage 4 cancer and healed. All right, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you, Brand, for taking care of that for me. And I see Celeste Jackson on. Thanks for watching. But he says, I'm amazed at how the saints fasted on the old days without this education and information. All they had was their faith and obedience.
And they still had their condition when they
came off. Yeah. Yep. I think this says La Scott, LA Scott. Thank you for watching. Appreciate you. But yeah, you got to take this stuff in, guys. This is not, I know that God sets things up in the timing. Everything is in his timing. I know it is. And he sets it up for a reason. They're coming up on this fast beginning next week. And, this is something definitely, if you don't follow Dr. Lord Michael Hunt, then you should. The Lord is really directing him. And I've been truly enjoying his morning hourly talks that he gives us. I say gives us. Yeah, I'm a Stockholm. That he gives, but he comes from what God has given him, and again, he has a heart for people. So make sure you guys follow him as well. And I'm pumping them up. This is good information to know. Dr. Hill, I think go ahead.
Can I interrupt you just right here? You have exactly 7 days. Today, you have exactly 7 days to prepare for this fast, and you should go on the fast. God has promised 2 benefits of fasting in Isaiah 58, I believe it is. And that is that, we know all of the spiritual things, our reward, God will be our real reward, and so forth and so on. what has escaped us is the health springing forth speedily. And we have, I'm going to be real transparent here because, I really don't have a problem with my age. I'm 70 years old. And so I have gone through, Dr. Hunt has taken us on I can't even count how many 21 day and night fasts that Dr. Hunt has taken us on. And I have seen saints, I've seen God bless them spiritually, I have seen them grow, I have seen them whatever. But I've also seen saints come off that fast and die. And that is because, now I'm not trying to frighten anyone. Please don't think that. I'm not trying to frighten anyone. I am just trying to cause you to see that which is spiritual, and that which is natural is natural. And the physical body, if you study, if you get in your Bible, you will see that God talks about the physical body differently from how he talks about the spiritual body. And that is because the physical body needs physical things. And so the reason we have not experienced that health springing forth speedily is because either when we came out the fast, we went back like the dog to its vomit, or we did not go on properly and come off properly, or we didn't prepare ourselves. And all of those things are physical. So then we understand, you can say the devil is a liar, but then you're not sick because of the devil. You're sick because of, the things that you are doing. And right. So you have to address them right. And your health will spring forth speedily. But you've got to do what your body physically needs for that process to take place. Springing forth is not a spiritual thing. When you look up that springing forth, you will see that is a process, the same kind of process that happens when you plant a seed, when the roots grow down in the ground, and then there is a sprout that springs forth from what has happened down in the ground. And so it is a process, and it's a physical process. I'm sorry for interrupting you.
No, you're good. Trust the process. Mm-hmm. Yeah, take responsibility on your own. That's what I'm hearing from what she's giving us right now. Let's see. I can't thank you enough. I really can't. I look forward to the fourth Wednesdays myself as the host of the show. And I know that you all look forward to it as well. We can learn so much, but we have to take it. We got to take it. Don't return back. You have to apply what you know and move forward. Randy Glass, I see that you've joined us. Thanks so much for watching. Let's see. Brandy says you can't naturally treat your body like trash and expect it to be spiritually blessed and strengthened. I totally get that. And to add on to Buddy's comment earlier about saints, old fasting, but yeah, a lot of times they didn't really prepare their bodies like they were supposed to, and then they didn't move forward instead of going back to what they were doing. And unfortunately, some, were sick, but and it's not because, the concept of fasting. It's because of, again, what they were or were not doing. So that's what we're looking at on today. Let's see. All right. Yeah, Divine she's on it. She's on it today. I want to go ahead and play this spoken word by Elder Kevin McGee that he has penned for us for today's segment. And I want you guys to actually take a listen to this. Let me.
Everybody plays the fool. At least that's how it seems when we willingly but not ignorantly backslide in maintaining our health, when we dodge the bullet of high blood pressure, diabetes, cancer, and other ailments by getting our minds right and changing our habits. But then once we get an all clear, we return to the same routine that got us in trouble in the first place. Instead, we should have taken heed to the red flags that we've seen, which not only serve as warnings, but as reminders of the state we were once in. And in doing so, it creates an avoidance factor within our minds so that anything that is remotely similar to what we escaped will set off an eternal alarm that causes us to go in a different direction, thereby becoming wise in the midst of foolishness. Because how can we teach if we can't reach? And how can we preach if we can't teach by example when we can't curb our own desires that is causing us to commit suicide by ingesting things that harm the body and never resting, which depletes and weakens what little strength the body possesses? So, as the saying goes, stay woke. Don't fall for the okey doke. If the red button says don't push, then don't. If you can't understand the ingredients, then don't eat. And if it looks good and made readily available to you, run so you can live another day.
Wow, wow. I almost didn't want that to end.
He did it again.
He did it again.
He did it again.
Now, mind you, what I said at the beginning, he had I don't know, I don't want to say issues, but he had a hard time getting something from the title that you gave. And then we chatted with him, and then the Lord gave him that. And I believe the Lord just gave that to him this morning. So it was.
He always hears from the Lord.
Yes.
That's why I need those 10 points.
There you go. And it pretty much is summed up what we were talking about today.
Always.
It did. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that on this afternoon, and hopefully all that was said on today was a benefit to you and that you're going to take it in. Dr. Hill, I'm going to ask you if you have any remainder comments or anything that you want to share with us on today to end this wonderful session. It is always so good to hear from you. It really is. And I just thank you and appreciate you.
Well, cholesterol. Remember that without cholesterol, the coronavirus, it cannot infect you. It cannot do it. It is the cholesterol that makes it possible for the virus to attach to the cell so that it can break into the cell membrane and hijack your DNA. On the outside, you are not on the outside of the cell membrane, then you are a carrier. You are not infected. On the inside of the cell membrane, inside the DNA, you are infected. And so you need to, everything that's cholesterol, butter, margarine, enriched flour, meat, you need to change. You need to change and go back to the original way that God wanted us to eat so that you can live. And is it anything? Yeah, the MSG in your seasonings, take it out. The aluminum, eliminate all of those things. And for this last week starting today, so that the fast will be effective, go raw. Go raw. Salads, the salad, rainbow salad is on my page, or I don't know if Brandon put it on, so I know I'm going way over. But do those salads twice a day, and drink your water. 50% of your body weight. So if you weigh 200 pounds, 100 ounces of water. For those that came on late, I'm trying to bring them up to speed. If you are chronically constipated, thank you, Holy Spirit. If you are chronically constipated, yes, I use the word constipated. If you don't eliminate at least twice a day, one at the least, you need, and I don't believe in enemas, but you need to take at least 3 before this fast. And so
That's if you're constantly.
If you're chronically constipated.
Okay.
And so, and you're going to use vitamin C. You're not using coffee. We're not overly stimulating the liver and the kidney and all of that, sending those toxins through the body. You're going to use vitamin C powder by Alive, by Mega Food, or by Garden of Life, and that's a raw vitamin C powder. You're going to get your spirulina, organic, kosher, non-GMO. You're going to get your vitamin C. Your vitamin C repairs the DNA. So you've got to have your vitamin C, and I just said which ones to get. And your spirulina. And you need your ReCell. ReCell repairs at the cellular level. I'm through.
All right. Thank you. That was good stuff. I see you guys here. Marcus says, you ladies are wonderful. I love listening to these. Thank you, Marcus. I appreciate you. You had an awesome session on last night. I will say that again. Black Wall Street is coming back, and he's prepping us for it. So I appreciate how God is leading and directing you, Marcus. Brandy says here, Elder Kevin is dropping that hard, brutal knowledge over a smooth and sexy bass line. She said, "Hey, slick." Brandy, I was thinking the same thing.
She did not say smooth and sexy.
Yes, she did. Buddy said snapping for Elder Kevin McGee. That was good. Victoria Jones DeVos, thanks for watching. She said, good afternoon, ladies. This is great information. Thank you, Dr. Hill and Annette. Well, thank you for joining us, Victoria. We appreciate you. And all of you that jumped in, jumped out, those of you that tagged, those of you that shared, thank you so much. We appreciate you because, again, we're trying to get this information out. We want to share it with as many as we can and let you all know that we care about you. We care about your health. We care about your mental state. So we're working hand in hand together so that we can give you the information and equip you with what you need to live a healthy and prosperous life. All right, we're going to get out of here. You check us out tomorrow at 6. If not, we will be back on Mind, Body, and Soul next Wednesday, the 30th. I actually have 2 shows in one day. One show at 12 noon. We'll have a ministry spouses segment. And I'm excited to bring that back. We always feature that every once in a while. And Cheryl Hartshorn Stevens is going to be my guest. And she is out of state, but we want, she's got a great journey and testimony to tell you guys about. So join me at 12 noon next Wednesday. And then coming back on that evening at 6:00 p.m., I'm going to feature three different interracial couples. They're going to be my guests. And wouldn't you happen to know, they're actually all related. And we want to talk to them about how interracial couples are dealing with this racism that we're dealing with in the United States on today. See, sometimes we don't really think about it. We may have our spouses that are of the same race that we are, but we don't necessarily think about those interracial couples and what they have to deal with, what they're thinking, what they're doing to get through, to get by, to live in this world. So I have the McCords going to be on, Joe and Brandy McCord. I also have Adam and Nikki Harley will be on, and also Marcus Hill and Kyra Martinez. They will be my guests. I'm so excited at the 6 p.m. hour on next Wednesday. So go to my website. You will check all of that out, the upcoming shows, past shows as well. But again, I do thank each of you for joining me, and again, not allowing me to be by myself every week when I come on Mind, Body, and Soul. I appreciate you, and until next time, I want you to get caught in with Annette. It's your intellectual radio show. Here to inspire you and encourage you to be your very best. Get caught in the net. Yes, yes. Get caught in the net with the net. You know what I always tell you